Now, speaking of films that are unconventional, and if you're into narcolepsy, then you might be very interested in Wakey Wakey, which I found a really interesting film in terms of the way it was shot and the way it was directed. And Laura, first of all, how did you get involved in being one of the lead actresses in this film?
Well, I actually met Adrian through my acting school where I was studying, called 16th Street. And he came by to kind of assist us with one of our scene study classes, and he was filming. And I think he'd seen my work before. And he approached me and just said, do you want to be involved? And I read the script, and I thought it was so unique and so interesting. And I am really kind of inspired, not maybe inspired, but very intrigued by medical conditions that can be very limiting to people's lives. So that's kind of what drew me to the story.
Mm. And it's such an interesting short insofar as it explores that sort of issue of narcolepsy and that sort of netherworld that comes up in the narrative.
Yeah, definitely. I think what I found most kind of haunting about the whole thing is that Josie, who I play, never really knows what's real and what isn't, because it's kind of a mixture between dream and reality in her life all the time, because she never knows when she's asleep or awake. And I think that that's not necessarily a problem just for people suffering from narcolepsy, but for lots of medical conditions and also mental illness as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Laura, I think some of our audience might know you from Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah. A film that really has done a great deal for you, I think.
It has, definitely. It was my first professional role. I was really lucky. I got kind of a invitation to go to an open casting, which like hundreds of girls went to, and I was lucky enough to be right for Nikki. And yeah, it's kind of changed my life. It really set up a awareness of who I was and what kind of work I want to do, and it was such a successful film, which I didn't expect. So most people know about it, which is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're working on something at the moment, is it with Robert Connolly? Or?
Yeah, earlier this year I did what is a telemovie but also a feature. It's kind of a weird combo, called Underground, which is about Julian Assange's early life when he was a young adult. And it's kind of about his relationship with his first partner who he had a child with, and that's who I play. And also about the political stuff he was doing at the time when he first got involved with hacking, and some really intense kind of information came to him.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's actually just being finished now.
Terrific, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably the first screening will be in Ecuador.
That would be cool.
That would be.
Maybe I can go to Ecuador.
The only screening.
Do they have a film festival in Ecuador? Well, anyway.
It's actually playing at TIFF, isn't it?
Toronto Film Festival.
It is, yeah. I'm actually going there soon.
Okay. All right, I've broken up the audience. So anyway, I think I'm breaking up. Now, all right, Laura, we'll come back to you because I want to talk to Brendan about shooting this film, because the cinematography, the lighting, the use of black and white and so on is so important in this film. Can you talk about the challenges you faced in shooting it?
Sure. Well, before this, technically, Peter's actually a feature. It's just got on the feature market 60 minutes. But before that, I'd only ever shot things around, the longest length, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. So I'd never actually shot a feature at all, let alone on film. So it was quite challenging, and the fact that Adrian wanted a certain look, you got a stock, had to get shipped from overseas because it wasn't available here in Australia and processed overseas. So had a certain high contrast, black and white kind of look that he wanted, which gives it this kind of raw, gritty kind of, visual aesthetic, which reflects the emotions of the characters really, and gives you this beauty. It's kind of, you got both sides where it can kind of be quite gritty and rough, and then you got this kind of lush, kind of beautiful kind of moments in the film that works so perfectly with this stock and this footage. So,
How much of it was in camera and how much of it was post-production in terms of effect and so on?
Most of it honestly was in camera, because we got that stock that was like hard blacks and hard whites. But we definitely did crush the blacks in post. But that was only pushing what we already had. You know what I mean? Like, it was mainly in camera, and even for the exterior things, we used certain filters to get the really nice kind of skin tones with their face and stuff as well, and the background. So so we had a bit of fun, shooting it and getting the right kind of look. And Adrian's all about, he's one of the few creative directors I've worked with I really admire. So that's why I was all on for this project, and be able to really get inside with as far as lighting and especially composition of the shot, because most of it was quite often one shot or maybe two at most. It wasn't like, back, forth. So let's get the composition right in a kind of master and then work around it from there. And that was really inspiring for me to kind of go through that process with him.
Adrian would have been here, of course, as well, but he decided to escape this program, go to Russia instead, by coincidence.
Yes, he's actually at the film festival at the moment, so in Russia, which is pretty huge. So and that film's also playing at MUF as well. What's the name of it again?
It's Michael and Migraine: A Love Story, a film that Adrian did a little while ago.
Yeah,
that's at MUF, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
a
Monday, maybe.
On Monday, okay.
Maybe, I think.
Monday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you're right. And we should say Wakey Wakey is on today at 5 o'clock.
That's correct,
at Revolt.
Yes.
In Kensington, in 12 Elizabeth Street, Kensington. Mm-hmm. So here's the chance for the audience to have a look at Wakey Wakey and experience that. How long was the shoot?
It's actually only 10 days.
Wow.
Which is interesting because we would
never... It seemed like a million years.
Yeah, it was a very heavy 10 days, put it that way. Yeah. It was 9 days and a pickup day, but we were under extreme situations. The usual kind of background story that you hear from almost disastrous films, because we lost this amazing location we had, and we, unfortunately, the owners kind of, it's this building was marked as the most important building of the architectural building of the 1990s. So it's this amazing building, and after 3 days in or so, they said, "No, too much." And it's like, well, we kind of can't really get this place anywhere else. But luckily, we got all the main kind of exterior shots we got and the main masters, and then we shot the kind of bedroom stuff and other stuff in different locations. So having that mid-shoot is very difficult, especially on a very short time frame.
Absolutely.
So a lot of issues and stuff that came up on set, but that's what made it challenging. And we were amazed what we got in the end. We didn't think it was going to be 60
It's insane
minutes.
that it is a feature, considering it was only 10 days of filming.
Exactly. Yeah. It was intended to be 30, 40 minutes, and we cut it together, and because we shot the dream sequence stuff all in 50 frames a second, so it's got a lot slower feel, and then obviously there's a big soundtrack that goes along with this as well. It's not very narrative-driven kind of film. It's very visual.
Yeah.
So once you cut it all together, and then we did the pickup, it's like, oh my God, we've got a feature. So there you go.
There you are. Okay. And in fact, you said 10 days. Terry, your film took 11 days to shoot. You were revealing last night.
Wow.
We're geniuses. But just because they're here, do you mind if I ask both of them?
Go for it.
Yes.
Why are you so compelled to be an actor, and why are you so compelled to be a cinematographer? What is that compulsion?
Wow, that's a big question. And I've thought about it a lot, and sometimes, to be completely honest, I'm not sure why, and I think it's I just feel like I have to. The biggest thing is I'm just so interested in human beings and the way that they behave. So even just listening to you talk and watching your behaviour is really interesting to me, and that's the person that you are. So I guess that's what draws me to it, just my interest in people and storytelling, and also film has affected my life so much, and kind of often saved me in a way, and I really want to do that for other people. In that, you just gave me a strange look, but in that...
I love the phrase, saved me. Saved you from what?
Well, I guess how lonely it is to be a human. I don't know, An
extraordinary answer. How lonely it is to be a human?
Yeah, I think so often I've felt alone with... dealing with things, and then when you see a film and you go, wow, I'm not alone. There are other people out there that have written about this that understand.
But in a reductionist conventional sense, you're a beautiful, talented young woman, and yet you speak about how lonely it is to be a human, and it's not affectation, you really mean it, and it's not pretension.
Yes.
How lonely is it to be human, and why are you willing to put everything on the line, do or die, to create a fantasy?
To create a fantasy?
Being a film, fiction or whatever it might be.
Right.
Thanks for explaining that, Brendan. Yeah. Brendan's my translator.
Yes.
Why?
I'm Irish blood here.
I can tell it already. I can see by looking at you.
Why?
the name.
Why do I want to create a fantasy? Is that what you mean?
The notion of the reality of being profoundly lonely and the identification of that and the recognition that your only reaction is to create something more profound than reality. It's not a reductionist notion. It's an extraordinary, ambitious.
I agree.
And where did you get the courage? Why are you doing that? Why does a woman like you, with all those conventional notions of capacity and talent and beauty, have the courage to enter a realm of impossibility?
Wow, that's another big one. I guess. I don't know. My first thought was to say I've been inspired by other people that have done the same thing, which I think is part of it. But it just seemed like there was no other option. Like, I have often wished that there was something else I wanted to do, because acting is exhausting, and I just go, oh, just do something else, Laura. Like, just be happy, being really simple and giving into that. But I don't think I could. Like, I feel it would be the greatest tragedy to give up on that. So, yeah, I think it's just my passion for what it is to be alive. That's all I can say that gets me going.
Great.
Okay.
Brendan, can I ask Brendan?
Yeah, quickly, yes, we have to move on. That's all right.
I'll be a lot quicker though.
I feel like I should be Frasier. I'm listening.
Exactly.
Oh, but a cinematographer, the eye of... Go on.
Well, for me, I love film in general. That's where I've come into film. Like, I've got a huge music background, but in the last few years I've gotten to film, and I want to be. I wanted, to put it bluntly, I want to die as a director. So if I die as a director, I'll be happy in my entire life. I've already decided that now. So I thought, in the meantime, I'm happy to kind of do more kind of camera-based and post-production-based stuff, and particularly camera is something I really adore, because I love composition. Even before I understood what all this stuff, just watching thousands and thousands of films, I started to understand what it was all about without having any experience. And once I finally got into film school, I had it naturally. I could take a photo and go, wow, that's really well framed, because I've looked at millions of frames before. I know what it's meant to be, and over time my lighting's kind of getting better as far as how to light things, and yeah, I just love it. It's one of those moments when you kind of just set things up and go, wow, have a look at that, that's amazing. And especially when you can, like, I work with a few filmmakers like Adrian who are all about one-shot composition, and that's like, well, how are we going to get them from there to do that line and there to there, all in one shot, and make it well lit and make it look great. And I love these challenges. It's really inspiring for me.
Okay, well, welcome to Deep and Meaningful Radio on our weekly film program. Actually, this is quite fascinating. I'd love to continue this, actually, but we can't. We've got two other interviews we have to get to, unfortunately. Terry, I've got to ask you, what are your plans now for your next films?
It's time to make some pornography.
Okay. Well, all right, I'm going to floor you in a moment. What was it like being an actor on Batman Begins?
My God.
Oh, really?
Wow.
You're
Really?
such a degenerate. It was a huge amount of money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe you brought that up. You are a lowlife. I thought you were a good man.
I'm sorry, I'll have to bail out. Anyway, I think you said last night you had a script in mind. You had a film you wanted to make.
I got a whole bunch of scripts. I'm as I said last night, I'm an unashamed hackor, so I write stuff for other people, and I've written a whole bunch of television and stuff.
Well done, Terry. And we should also thank Laura and Brendan. Laura Wheelwright and Brendan Krotz. Wakey Wakey is screening today at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Tickets are hopefully still available.
Yeah, they are. It's not a huge cinema, but we're planning to pack it out. And also there's a screening on Monday along with some shorts in that program. So 7 p.m. screening on Monday as well. We'll have Wakey Wakey and Adrian's other short playing there as well.
Yes, I noticed that Adrian's other short is screening at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much happening at the Melbourne Underground Film Festival.
Yeah.
And Laura, you've mentioned what's next for you, with that film you just finished with Robert Connolly.
Yeah, Underground is going to Toronto Film Festival, so I'm leaving for Toronto in a week.
Great festival, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I've never been to that part of the world, so it should be really cool. And I'm very proud of this film. I think it's going to be great. So
terrific.
Yeah.
And Wakey Wakey, apart from that, hopefully we'll get some other screenings after Muff, because it's a film that certainly deserves to be seen.